That's it. You're living the life. That's what's going on. Okay. So I guess we'll. Oh, it's starting to count. We're here. We've made it. What to do? Okay. Wait a minute. Where's Derron? We're missing someone. He normally does the intros. I don't know what to do.
Oh no, who are we?
I don't know.
Hello, and welcome to the JD Streams? JD Podcast. I don't even know the name of it.
Yeah, it's one of those two. It's Unplugged, it's all those things.
Oh, that was it, Unplugged. JD Unplugged.
That's
Streams.
Right. We're free.
Unplugged streams. Yeah, mine's not. Mine's corded, unfortunately.
You're still plugged into the Matrix. You gotta be free.
So I can do the volume with the wheel, and I can mute it. So,
for high tech.
I don't think I've
ever seen a modulator like that, or whatever you'd call that, a little control system. Super fancy.
It's kind of cheap, but it's got one of these like fabric.
Like super smooth cord.
Yeah. So it's not break because it's got these on.
Nice.
They help protect it. The phone charge is the same as well. Anyway, I'm Aidan. He's joevan.com.
That's right. Motel.com. Yeah. I don't know if that is a .com, but yeah. That's it. It's the two of us. What the heck? What's going on? Listen, guys, it's nothing to worry about. Derron, let's just say he says something involving espionage, a volcano, Rasputin, and beheadings. All of those words. Something happened to Derron. That's all we can tell you. Is he going to be back next week? We think so. Maybe next time I'll get espionaged. I don't know, but all that matters is that we're all still alive. I think. Last I heard. Last I checked.
What he's doing is he's actually just helping Tom Cruise film Mission Impossible 6.
No, I think it's past that now. Wait. Yeah. I think we're on 7 now. I think. Yeah. There was a lot of screaming when he was trying to record that movie. There was a lot of people goofing off during COVID, so Derron's come in to, he's there to replace those goofballs that weren't taking it seriously that Tom Cruise was screaming. Yeah.
And this time around, Tom Cruise has decided to go even more method than normal. So, like, Tom does all his own stunts. It's just Tom to me. It's first name basis.
Oh, okay, you guys know each other. Yeah.
He does all his own stunts, right? But this time round, he's like, we're going to do our own espionage too.
Oh, he actually causes World War III in real life.
Yeah.
For the movie.
Yeah. They're not building, film sets in Russia anymore. He's actually infiltrating the Kremlin. And
those aren't actors. It's literally just, it's some guy terrified, a cinematographer, scared for his life, running with Tom Cruise through a heavily armed building, getting shot at. Yeah.
And that's what Derron's doing. He's just helping out. He's going to do some espionage.
Yeah. Very good, very good. Well, I mean, we all wish him a speedy trip home, and, Putin doesn't get him and force him to ride shirtless bareback with him on a bear, I mean, but you never know. That's just the Russian life. Yeah. But so over here in Canada, and actually, coincidentally, because we were just talking about Russia, I think there was elections also happening, except there's only one person running. What a coincidence! It's just Putin. Yeah. So you get a poll, you got to walk up, you got to wait in line an hour, and then you get there, and there's just one name. It's just as Putin.
So strange, isn't it?
Yeah, very, very interesting electoral system.
That's like North Korean stuff.
Yeah,
that's the sort of stuff they do.
So hopefully we didn't just worsen Derron's situation by saying that. But over here in Canada, we just had an election. Election day was on the Monday. We're recording this after the results have come out, and you guys are getting this fresh on the Friday. The results are, drum roll please, it's the same as last time and the time before that.
Yay!
I will be honest, I am surprised. I was thinking for sure we were going to go conservative, but it stayed liberal. Liberal minority government, not liberal majority government. What really distresses me is that Bloc Québécois, a separatist party that wants to make Quebec its own country, got more votes than NDP, which like has more people that would want to vote for it across the entire nation. There's only one place that wants to vote Bloc Québécois, and somehow they got more votes than NDP. It's kind of sad. It's like, God damn, man, the third party will always
like,
be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, too much, but I think if I was a citizen, I could have voted. I would have voted for Jagmeet and the NDP because they seem very progressive and cool.
They seem like they got a proper policies in place, and meanwhile, they do not. Just the same shit. They'll always vote.
I'm really surprised of how low, like how few votes they got. Is really surprising.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it's more a matter of maybe they got tons of votes, but like the districts that had those votes lost, because this is something I just learned this year for the first time, is that Canada's electoral system is not too dissimilar from America's. In America, and it's a system based on like 1800s logic, where it's like, oh, you need to send a man from horseback to give the results of the election. And it's like, we have instantaneous information at our fingertips. We shouldn't still be using the system, but the system in place in Canada is you vote, and your vote goes toward a district. So you vote, and then if your district, some other party wins, then your vote literally doesn't even go. Like, it's just gone. It just disappears. It's completely wasted. And then that district counts as like one party or house or whatever. And then whoever gets the most party houses wins. What the fuck? I thought that was America's shitty electoral college system, where it's basically the exact same thing. And I thought Canada's was like, hey, well, at least in Canada, you literally just put a vote to your person, and then all of the numbers of every individual are tallied up, and then the MP wins. But no. So it's like, what? It's weird. I'll just say that much. I don't.
I didn't realize it was like that.
Yeah, I feel like we should have a system where you vote like a top 5 kind of thing. That way, if your number 1 doesn't win, then your vote goes for number 2. And then it keeps going down the list that way until you have your final ballot or whatever.
I think it should be like Pop Idol or like X Factor or America's Got Talent.
Yeah. These places that kept evolving the voting system until it became like the ultimate thing.
Yeah. Right. So the lines open Monday night, 9 p.m. The phone lines are open. You call or you text. Your vote goes through. The bottom 2 people, they have to have a sing off. One of them gets voted. Then you have a next round. And then bottom 2, one gets kicked out. Keep going till you've got a winner.
Yeah,
it takes a week, but and that's maybe it's not.
It should be an event. It should be like Frosh Week or something. Yeah. I like that. I like that system. Yeah, you got to get those. Honestly, that would be a better system, straight up. The way we're doing it now is literally not any better. So honestly, that's the thing. Game shows, they're the ones who have actual courage. They're like, let's take the integrity of our show and then try to evolve this concept of democracy that's been around for 2,000 years or something, been around a while. I don't know 2,000, but it was first established like in ancient Greece or something, and it's been a long time since it's existed.
That's got to be more than 2,000 years, I think. Yeah, definitely.
5,000 years or something insane.
Yeah.
But so unfortunately, that's just how it is. However, I will say this. There's this new political party that I learned very recently about called the PPC, not to be confused with PCP, that thing that'll make you, cut your thing off down there. There was a famous rapper who did that on PCP. So PCP is bad. There's a new political party called PPC.
Confused
with that drug.
with something personal protection equipment, PPE.
Yeah, PPE. Yeah, don't get it confused with that either. Yeah, this is personal protective Canadians, I guess. But the PPC party is a party that I don't know if they put these signs up, but I've seen some signs around. They're very anti-science. I think is the most polite way to say it.
Yeah, I think they're very anti a few things from what I've
Yeah,
read.
basically their society's answer to the NDP. They're like, if there's a more left thing than liberal, then there should be a more right thing than conservatives. And
Yes,
that's
yes.
basically what they did. This concoction of the people. And you know the funny thing, they're the only party that got zero districts or parties. So it's like, fuck you guys. Yeah.
That's great.
But yeah, okay. So I just found this thing that I want to share with you. Get ready. It's shocking.
Okay.
It's distressing. Just
Okay.
find out the technicalities
I'm
of getting to you.
scared.
Share screen. Basic monitor. Start sharing. Okay. Now behold. Witness and behold. I saw this in
Oh.
Oakville. Let me see your papers. Say
Oh,
no
okay.
vax pass. Children will never know freedom. And then a bunch of smaller stuff that's probably links to sketchy websites
Wow.
that give you viruses. But yeah,
Yikes.
I just
Those are some
have
hot
no
takes.
words other than the fuck. like
I've
there have been
seen I didn't
yeah.
realize it was this party in particular, but I guess it makes sense because they're kind of similar to the Trump supporting people, and they've got similar ideologies. And anyway,
This
yeah.
is the world we live in. It's one of those.
I don't even know why I've got this person on Facebook anymore.
Okay.
But it's a friend's um, aunt is I have on Facebook a friend's
Yeah.
aunt,
Okay, that is
and
interesting. That's interesting. Yeah.
she lives in Burlington.
What? Oh
Lovely
no.
place. Yeah,
Well,
isn't that
hey,
a lovely?
Burlington, yeah, it's a lovely place,
Uh,
but people in it, I've run into at least one that is pretty crazy. So
yeah, and
maybe it's the aunt, because I
she's
ran
one
into a
of them.
lady. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's hear the story.
Well, I won't describe her, but yeah,
Okay.
she is a boomer generation, maybe even slightly older,
Okay. Yeah.
and over the past few weeks, all her Facebook posts have been that sort of sentiment, like, where's our freedoms? What's next? And then they love this one, Joe. They love a poster of a hand like this, and then down here there's the Holocaust stamp, the numbers.
Oh boy.
They
Yeah.
love using that one. All these Facebook people, Facebook protesters, I like to call them.
Yeah.
They've
Yeah.
got, and it's this one post. They keep reusing the same poster every time, and
Sure.
it's just, and she keeps posting like that. What's the thing that they keep calling Trudeau?
Oh, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even know. Unfortunately, I haven't.
It's like a rhymey, like criminal Trudeau, or
Right.
oh,
Corrupt.
Prime Minister Trudeau. That's
Prime
what I keep calling.
Minister.
So
Nice.
she's
That's
been going
tight.
to these rallies. She's been going to all these anti-lockdown, anti-vaccine, and anti-passport. And yeah, it's kind of crazy that you're comparing the Holocaust of 6 million
6
Jews.
plus. Yeah, it's easy enough to say 6
Um,
plus because there were more different
yeah,
demographics of people too, but
yeah, it
a lot
wasn't
of people
just
died.
Jews. There
Big
was
old
gay,
genocide.
gay
Big old
people,
genocide.
black people. Uh,
Anyone, yeah, crippled people straight up. Yeah,
big genocide.
yeah,
Uh, and obviously it was based on things you can't change about yourself.
yeah. It
You know,
was. Yeah, the hate was very ideological. It was not. Yeah, it wasn't based on riots on the street. It wasn't based on they didn't choose to pay their taxes or something, so everyone who didn't pay their taxes was killed. It was something you
yeah,
could, yeah, like I bet you too. I bet you there were people who tried to convert or change their religion, and that didn't matter because they're like, well, you were born into a family that was this
yeah,
way, so
yeah.
yeah,
So the
you
fact
kind
that
of
they're comparing, hey, here's just one more vaccine. You've already had vaccines when you were a kid. We just want you to have one more, and it's
yeah.
to that awful thing that happened in history is crazy. But what's funny is the people who are like, they're just like the Nazis, and they're going to be rounding us up. all
It'll
these,
keep getting worse, kind of thing.
they're gonna round us up and force us and force us what to do, and we're all sheep and stuff. It's like, well, if we're the Nazis, I mean, if the government are the Nazis, but they're making us take the vaccine, then
But they're not.
we're
Yes.
kind of on their side because we're the ones that they want to have the vaccine, and they're going to keep us alive. You're the ones not
That
taking the
want to
vaccine.
risk us all of us to die. Yeah.
You're not wanting to do what they say.
Yeah.
Who's the idiot one? You know,
It's very confusing, right? They want to, in their perfect world, they would be able to overthrow the government, just like the Nazi Party did, take over, and then enforce their will through domination and violence, which is what they're claiming is being done to them, even though it's only businesses that are to enforce this vax pass.
Yeah.
And so it's your choice. You can just Uber Eat for the rest of your life, or you can just do takeout where you get it and go. There's so many options.
Yeah.
You have never been more free. If you weren't free, then you wouldn't be allowed to leave your house. They would monitor people who weren't getting vaccinated, but they're not. They're literally going, we don't give a fuck what you do. We're just saying you're not allowed to inject your sickness into businesses because we care about money. They love money. It's all freedom, baby. It's all about the economy. Like, what the fuck? They don't really care. Like, honestly, the government maybe should be more intense about bringing the lockdown on trying to keep people safe. And then we'd be in a better scenario like New Zealand or South Korea or any of the other plethora of countries that are perfectly good now.
Yeah.
We're on the tail end. We're on the shit end of the stick, you know? And it's because
that's what I don't get about like the people who are anti-vaccine or anti-lockdown and stuff. It's like regardless if you're a little bit scared of the vaccine because 8 months wasn't long enough to make a vaccine based on 10 years of research. If that wasn't enough for you, then okay, that's you. But do you want the world to go back to normal? If you want the world to go back to normal, to how things were 2 years ago, then people are going to have to start getting the vaccine. It's like, it's as simple as all the people who are refusing to get it. Not only are they endangering the lives of other people and taking up the hospital time, but you're delaying the world getting back to normal.
Yeah, you pretending like the world is back to normal and wanting it to be that way and just ignoring reality is the one single thing that is causing the delay. It's the same as like people who like serpentine in a highway because they want to go faster. It's merging that slows the highway down. You and everyone else who's merging to try to speed up is the reason why, like the reason why your single car is slowing down is because people in front of you are doing the exact same thing you're doing by merging, which then causes the car behind to stop because this person's getting in. It's as simple as that. It's too simple that it just doesn't work. It's so, it's one of those things where it's like the mind just goes, well, no, instead, let's construct this insane conspiracy of what's really happening. And it's super complex. Yada, yada. It's just like.
And again, like the simplest answer is always like, what is it? The simplest answer is always the easiest answer.
Occam's razor. Yeah. Whatever the simplest answer is most likely the truth. Yeah.
Yeah. So like they're all saying, oh, these conspiracies, or the government want to like control us, or the government are trying to kill us off with this vaccine. It's like, but why would they want to kill the population when it's the population?
The only thing they rule. Like
it's
the only meaning for their existence in the first place. Like there wouldn't be a government. And plus, it's like this is the one thing that blows my mind is the government is people. Your neighbor, your aunt, your son, your whatever, like the postman, they're all government agents, police officers, postal workers, hospital care workers in specific areas. I know in America it's like independent hospitals, but I'm pretty sure in Canada it's all kind of aligned to the same thing. You're a government agent. You're a government worker. You get paid by the government, It's like, come on.
Like the fundamental, like how does the world work? money.
Yeah.
The reason why, you know, the lockdown was so tough on so many businesses was because no money was being generated. And then the government had to bail people out, and then that lost the government money. So then there was a push to reopen everything because there was no money coming in. So it's like, that should be a sign that they don't want us to die, because they clearly need us to capitalize and build up the economy. Like, why are they going to kill people off if
the only thing they have going for them is that they want money? Yeah, because that's the thing. Even in the conspiracy, the whole idea is that they want money. That's part of the thing, is that the government's evil and secret ingredient. It's the central banking system. It's all about controlling people through wealth, inequality, or whatever. And it's like, okay, that if so facto, then why are they putting so much painstaking efforts into trying to bolster up the economy and keep things going, right? And then you keep fucking slowing things down. Yeah.
Crazy.
It's just another day in the life of this timeline where everything went weird, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, I got a question for you. Would you rather live in this timeline that we have now, as it is, as everything that we just talked about, all of its unfortunacies, but like, also good things is that, there's not currently World War III that I know of, or would you rather live in the Marvel universe where COVID-19 doesn't exist, but there's all of these weird other threats, gosh. I don't know how many casualties happen in the Marvel universe. Obviously, there was that one moment of half the universe, but they came back.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Marvel, there's like a world-ending event every like 6 months in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, it's like, a little stressful, but then you get numb to it,
Yeah, maybe like New York has been destroyed like 5 times, and like, there's always a supervillain who's just like destroying. What did it really well? What was a really good like sell on how dangerous superheroes are? Yeah. In Man of Steel.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Superman and Zod have that fight, and they like level up.
Yeah, there's no way people evacuated in time. 100%. Superman killed multiple people.
Yeah, and then in
the following movie is all. Yeah, it's
they
all
address
it.
Yeah. And so that and that was just Man of Steel, where it was like early in the DCEU. There's not really many superheroes, but Marvel have made 25 movies, and in every single movie there's cities getting invaded, and like the amount of casualties that we don't see because it's a Disney film. Yeah, like even first Avengers, when New York gets invaded, like there'll be thousands of people killed by aliens or falling debris from the Hulk and stuff. Like
100%, yeah. And then they almost just try to do. Actually, so here's a question: which came first, Batman v Superman or Civil War? Did they potentially come out at the same time? Ooh. Or I think Civil War might be a year earlier.
I think, were they originally meant to come out the same year, and then they decided to delay one of them?
I don't know, because when did it come out? 2015 or 2014? And did they both sort of come out then? Because they both address the same thing, right? Man of Steel came out in 2013. I know that much. And then Avengers 2, which is, then followed by that Consequence movie. When did that come out? I don't know. I'm thinking it must have been like 2014.
Civil War was maybe 16. Because Ultron was probably 14.
Right. But either way, obviously writing happens before a movie's filmed, so obviously there's like a long stretch of like who knows how much pre-production goes into that kind of thing. But both comic book franchises addressed the same thing in their own cinematic universes at different times.
Yeah.
And I feel like obviously Marvel's was more in depth because they've had so many more movies to be able to build things up and talk about consequences and stuff like that. But it took them a minute to get there. They didn't do it like right after the first Avengers, where they were like, you superheroes also kind of cause damage by throwing those aliens into buildings and stuff when you were trying to.
But actually, I didn't even think about that because I used Batman vs Superman. But yeah, in Age of Ultron, and then what leads into Civil War, the whole conflict is that they
like new heroes cause a lot more damage maybe than
yeah.
being preventive.
Obviously it was Ultron that did it, but he raised up an entire city out of the ground and was going to drop it.
Yeah.
And the Avengers, they evacuated everyone, but it still dropped, I think, in the end.
There was still some subsequent damage done.
Yeah.
Just not as big as it would have been, like world ending. Yeah.
And then
and also
Zemo's
Ultron was,
family were killed, and that's why he was going after them, right? Because he wanted revenge.
He was one of the ones that didn't make it.
Yeah. So, and then obviously it was like, oh, it just happens to be a made-up Eastern European, vaguely, Eastern European country, so you don't have to worry too much. But
actually, that is weird though, because the DC universe has the fake cities, and Marvel is supposed to have all of the real cities. And they mention all the real cities. They mention Boston, New York, whatever,
But then
so it is interesting that there's this one place that gets destroyed that just wasn't real. Yeah. Might as well call it Metropolis or Gotham or something.
Yeah.
But
so going to your question. Okay. So what we're in right now.
Yeah.
I feel like although people are still dying of COVID, we've also got we're getting on it with the vaccine now. A lot of people are vaccinated.
Yeah.
And in most countries, apart from maybe the United States, we're starting to get it under control.
Yes.
So to be and then like everyone's used to wearing masks now. Everyone kind of knows what they're doing in the stores to avoid people. Wash your hands. The kids are going back to school. So maybe this could be okay because we're all kind of just used to it now.
Yeah.
But if I was to be in a Marvel universe, is there like a 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 1,000,000 chance I could be a superhero?
All right. Yeah. Straight up. Those odds exist.
Can I just go work for them? I'll just like iron the costumes or something.
Yeah,
I'll clean
exactly.
clean their weapons or something.
Right. Honestly, it could be one of those things where it's like we don't think about it, but if we had someone go through all of the movies and try to compile every time there's like a city incident or anything like that, or even just like other planets or whatever, just to try to accumulate like the amount of fatalities and casualties that happen like in the background. If it ends up like being the same as like something like Westeros, because everybody uses Westeros as like the one fantasy place they would never go to because it seems like hell on earth.
Yeah.
But it's like, what if the Marvel universe is like that, but we don't think about it because we only ever see like the hero's perspective and we never see like the random person on the ground.
Because yeah, you're totally right. Because like, okay, so they're in New York. That's still meant to be like this New York. So there's all the crime and murder and horrible. Yeah, so all that shit's still going on in that New York. People are getting mugged in dark alleys, and there's lots of crime. And then on top of that, you've got alien invasions and supervillains and stuff.
Random stuff.
But then you've also got the other planets, like the Guardians of the Galaxy planets, that are, run by space bandits and pirates and bounty hunters. And
it just adds these variables of potential terrorists.
And wherever like Thanos and his army are from, they're probably some terrible planets where they're from, and whatever's coming next in the MCU.
It doesn't.
And it's like
that universe hopeful.
Doctor Strange has like demons and stuff in his, like he's got these Dormammu, these elder god demon kind of creatures, and yeah. But then there's again though, there's that one little chance though. You're like, oh well, could be me.
Could end up. I could end up on the epic side. Do I play the lottery or do I live in a world full of explosions constantly? Yeah. Basically, do I live in Israel? Just constant explosions above my head, just like anti-missile strikes and stuff. But it's like, oh boy. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel comfortable and confident in Canada. Fun little alliteration, even with our Polly Pocket politics pods and doing all that fun stuff. Shout out to Derron. That's like the best name title that we could have for this podcast. So 100%. But yeah, I think. If anything, I guess it would be more question, is there any specific world or universe that you'd want to live in? Is there any one that actually calls out to you where you're like, hell yeah to that shit?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
because
the consequence, like, which one is like the
when you were
perfect?
talking about like horrible Westeros would be,
Right.
um,
Yeah.
made me think of Middle Earth.
Yeah.
But
Da-da.
again, the orcs and like
Yeah. They
the
will just
forces of
terrorize your town.
darkness,
Yeah.
terrible. But to live in the Shire or Rivendell would be the most beautiful, like
Serene existence.
sublime way of
Yeah.
life. Like, yeah,
And you'd have
amazing.
more odds by chance of lottery and genetics for you to end up being born an elf in Riverdale or a hobbit in the
Yeah,
Shire. There are more
let's face
populations
it.
there than there are heroes in the main
Yeah,
universe. Yeah.
definitely. And you
Chance of
know,
peace.
um, let's face it, the hobbits, with the exception of Bilbo, they never
Yeah.
left the Shire, and they never like saw any adventure or battle or anything. So they had
Yeah.
like they were living it. It was
Yeah.
great for them. Um, and then the other one would be the Star Wars universe.
Okay. But it's in the
Um,
name war. It's perpetual wars
I know,
happening.
and I feel like there's even more danger in Star Wars because there's again space pirates, bandits, bounty hunters, the Sith. There's like every alien monster creature that George Lucas ever imagined is pretty much a predator in some way. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
apart from those like weird cow things in Attack of the Clones that Anakin rides on, but pretty much everything
Oh yeah.
else.
Oh my God. That's so weird. I
Those
never even
like
thought of that at that scene. But yeah.
if-
Trying to ride his
yeah,
phone off. That yeah, that's some scary stuff, man. CG.
but
Love it.
like everything else in that world is like a predator. Like there's giant fish, there's those giant worms that come out of
Yeah,
the
an
asteroid.
asteroid. Yeah,
There's the things that live in the worms, like the giant moths that live in its teeth.
yeah.
There's
It's like you're. It's an asteroid. That should be the safest place for you. It's just a dead rock. But no, there's a thing that'll come out and try to eat you. Oh my
so
God.
there's all those horrible creatures, but then you could be like, okay, I just won't live where those creatures live. I'll live on a nice planet like Naboo.
And then
Oh,
it gets blown
and
up.
then it gets like invaded by a droid army,
Yeah,
or the Sith, or whatever. Yeah,
yeah.
very
Well, okay. So now that we just went from Earth to space, what about Star Trek? That universe is basically all about the fact that we made it. World peace. We did it. Now we're
true.
going out into space and now we're meeting other alien races and stuff. So sure, there is that warring faction and there are dangers here and there.
It's the
But
war.
aside from the J.J. Abrams movies, like in
Mhm.
the show and stuff, we're good. That's probably the
Yeah,
best situation.
yeah.
It's
It's
probably
a bit
like
more.
just safer, more
It's
stable.
it's about exploring the frontier, isn't it? It's about exploring,
Not so much
and
about the threat of your
yeah,
existence.
and
Yeah.
that's the phasers only stun because
Yeah.
they don't kill; they just stun.
Honestly, it's surprising that that show wasn't written by like, someone who's British. I mean, maybe it was, but it was just
I
filmed in
don't.
America.
I never really got into Star Trek. It
Well,
was.
me neither. My mom is a huge Trekkie. I just watch the movies. So I
Yeah,
only know the shitty Star Trek, according
yeah.
to true fans.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't mind the Abrams stuff, but again, like, yeah, I didn't watch the originals, so I can't.
It's a
Yeah,
comparison game. Though I will say this, everyone says the third movie that was directed by let's say it's not Sean Penn. What's the guy's name? Who is also the
oh,
guy?
yes. Sorry, Simon Pegg was involved, wasn't he?
Simon
Yeah.
Pegg. Yeah, Pegg.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he directed, or no, he wrote then the third
Well,
movie.
I think it was a Fast and Furious dude who directed it. One of the.
Oh, um, not James Wan. Let me look into this out of
Is it
curiosity.
Lin?
But
Justin Lin?
everybody, oh yeah, yeah, that might be it. Yeah.
Is that right?
But I guess the whole idea is that that movie is like the original show in that it's episodic and it's all about the story always continues and this is just one little misadventure that happens throughout it. It's
Right.
just on a movie sized scale instead of a 24-minute scale.
Yeah.
But
I feel
yeah.
like that movie felt very cheap
Oh yeah, you got
because
that vibe. Yeah,
I seem to remember like
I'm
it
sure
was
they're trying to
all
go
just
for like
mostly
practical.
taking place in like a quarry, like in like just like a pit that they've mined out that
Yeah,
just everyone was enslaved. So most of the movies just takes place in this one kind of location. And if ever a science fiction film is filmed in a quarry, you can just tell it's filmed in a quarry. And those
Yeah, you
locations
go,
are always
okay, you just
because
rented out this random abandoned quarry from
yeah, like because
the
it's already been
municipality
dug
of
out,
like London,
so like
England.
they
Yeah.
don't need to dig it out. It's already been dug out. There's already giant rocks everywhere. Like it's like
Yeah.
you know. But what sticks out to me from that movie is how they defeat the enemy. Do you remember how they stop the enemy in the end?
Well, I know it wasn't like the final way that they did it, but they ended up taking over like the hive mind by playing sabotage.
Yep.
Yeah, because in their universe, it's our universe. So all of the music from our timeline exists in the
And it's
future.
actually an awesome scene. I love it
Yeah.
because that song's
And it
like so.
comes sabotage. Da-na-na-na. They all start exploding. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
ships everywhere.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I like that. Yeah.
But
And
yeah. But he's human and he turns back human, but he was I don't know. All that stuff was
he was human, but then he started like eating weird goop or something, or he started eating his own people and he turned into a monster. It was something weird like that. And they're like, wait, no, there's a human in there somewhere, and there isn't, so they kill him. Yeah, and that's it.
I didn't mind the one before where Benedict Cumberbatch was in it because he's a really good one.
But I think that's one of those things where if we had grown up or at least seen the original, because not even the show, but the movies from like the 70s or 80s or something, I think it's Star Trek 4 or something, The Wrath of Khan. It might honestly be Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, no, you're right. Khan, yeah.
But yeah, The Wrath of Khan has a moment where it's Spock that's like dying in some gas chamber or something, and then so you have Captain Kirk going like "God" and freaking out, and then it has that epic scene. And I didn't think about it at the time because I did enjoy that one when I watched it, but then I watched reviews of it and stuff, and then someone was saying how in the original it was Spock who was dying, and then so you had the captain who's a human who's supposed to be emotional, yelling out in rage, and then in this one, you have Spock yelling in rage, and then for the rest of the movie, he's just constantly screaming and angry, and it's like he's supposed to be calm and meticulous. That's like his biology. Yeah. So it's like it's supposed to be edgy because it's like, whoa, this tragic event was so heartbreaking that it broke him and made him emotional. But it's like he's just emotional for the last like 20 minutes of the movie. He's just constantly going, just screaming and like throwing.
And they also like the fact that they switched Spock and Kirk in that scene and had Kirk die.
Yeah.
But no one would believe it because everyone's like, "Oh, Kirk's the main guy. He's not going to die."
Yeah, he's coming back.
So like you're immediately like, "Well, they're just going to save him with that exposition they told us only about 5 minutes ago about the DNA."
Yeah.
Like, they're just going to use that.
And they do. I'm forgetting her name, but the amazing actress who plays every alien in every modern movie,
Zoe Saldana.
You got it. Yeah, she's like girlfriends with Spock in those movies. And like, wouldn't it be better if she was the one who got gassed or something? Because then there'd be the real risk, and like still not have her die. But then it would, Spock has intimate relations with this woman. Of course, he's going to feel something intense, right? Yeah. So like even though he's like mostly whatever his alien race is, he's still half human. So he's got that bit of it in him. What
are they? Vulcan. Right. He's Vulcan.
Vulcan. Yeah, you gotta think Vulture. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there we go. Those are different worlds other than Canada and the Canadian election.
Canada.
Yeah.
Would you rather live on the East Coast or the West Coast?
That's a real question. But I'm pretty sure no one would choose the East Coast unless they're already from there. Or they go, oh, but the people are so nice. How can we say no? And it's like, how could you say no? The mountains. Look at the mountains. You can say no to the rocks.
Those ads that were going around during like the spring and summer where it's like, hey, move to New Brunswick and we'll pay you $20,000. And like the houses out here, there's internet.
Yeah, we have internet. We swear. They have Elon Musk internet or dial-up. Those are the only two options, depending on what area you're in. Yeah. Well, in the outer edges of the metropolises in that area.
Right.
But yeah, so they don't have a lot of options.
Wow.
But yeah, you get some Starlink and you're good to go. But
Wow.
one commercial that I saw over and over again once things were starting to open back up, so all those tourist commercials started popping out of the woodworks. I kept seeing one for Montreal because it's technically an island. It's not really. There's a really skinny like channel that just goes around the city, and then there's the St. Lawrence River. It's like, you're not an island, dude. I could skip over that creek. Like, come on. But they're calling themselves an island.
Right.
So the whole commercial is like, enjoy like local foods from the indigenous habitats, and they're trying to make it sound like it's like Hawaii or something, and they're like, enjoy the festive music from the locals. And it's like, come enjoy your island getaway, and then it just says Montreal, and it's like, what island were you expecting? And it's like, no, that is beyond cheesy. That's also invalid. You're not an island.
Yeah.
Go away. It's nothing tropical about you. No. Come on.
No.
I'm trying to be funny, but it's at the expense of me even going. It's like I'd maybe consider it if like you actually just showed what there was. It's like, look, we have Mount Royale.
Yeah, out of spite, I'm not gonna go now.
Yeah, exactly. I will say this though. Listen, I am an avid anti-Frencher. Not really. It's a joke, I swear. But I'm always joking about how I hate the French. And
yeah,
I gotta give it to them though, because they don't like believe in or celebrate Victoria Day. You know, May 24 weekend. I imagine you have that in England. You must, right? It's both of our queens. Queen Victoria.
No, we don't.
You don't celebrate Queen Victoria Day?
No.
That's just.
I know. Yeah.
What?
I swear we do not have a day for it.
Wow. Wait, do you guys like even have fireworks? Do you guys shoot off fireworks?
Not on May 24. Oh, because we have
save it for the national day.
No, we have bonfire night. Do you know bonfire night?
What? I know about the 5th of November, but I don't know if that's
that's the one.
That is it. Okay. Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot.
Exactly, yeah. So when V for Vendetta came out in 2008...
it wasn't Guy Fawkes, it was V for Vendetta, yeah. In the year 2050 or whatever time period he's from. Yeah. That's very good. Keep the holiday. Wait, but so, what is it called, though? Is it just called Bonfire?
It's just like a colloquial thing. So you might call it Guy Fawkes Night, you might call it Bonfire Night. Yeah.
That's kind of epic. That's kind of badass. Like, was he? I don't get it. He was a rebellion or something?
So, I mean, is he a rebel? Is he a terrorist?
Right.
I guess.
Yeah.
Context. Maybe
the context is the country of England celebrates the day. So why do they do that unless they think he's a hero?
Yeah, it's very strange. So he didn't like the government that was in power. So him and his buddies, they were like, because that was back when if you didn't like the government, you did something about it, right?
Right, yeah. So, the internet didn't exist, so people had to go out and do shit,
Yeah. So him and his buddies, they got a bunch of barrels of gunpowder, and they snuck them into the basement of the Houses of Parliament.
Yeah.
And they were going to blow the place up with everyone inside. And that'll teach them. But one of his buddies, I believe, ratted him out, so he got caught. And then back then, it was like capital punishment was like,
hell yeah, hang him.
Really bad.
Hang him.
No, it was like, I think he got skinned. Like, they did all sorts of nasty
what?
shit.
They skinned him?
Let's find out.
Shit! Yeah. Wait a minute. Okay, so I now think I understand the country of England. They're not celebrating this guy's rebellious spirit. They're celebrating murdering him. They're like, fuck you, bro, we're gonna live forever. They're celebrating the fact that they didn't get stopped.
So
like making fun of them.
Fawkes and the conspirators who remained alive were tried for high treason in Westminster Hall on 27th of January 1606, and were all sentenced. The executions took place in January, including hanging, drawing, and quartering. So hung, drawn. So let's look it up. quartered is where your limbs are cut off, and I think that's where they get
the 4.
Maybe
Yeah.
drawn. I don't know. Is that something to do with horses? Let's find out.
No. Yeah, I've seen Sean Bean get ripped up by horses before in a movie, so I know all about
that. What does it mean? The convicted traitor was fastened to a hurdle or wooden panel and drawn by a horse to the place of action. Oh, so he wasn't actually okay. So he was just dragged
so he was
there.
dragged on the streets? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, it was
so
then
it didn't
hanged.
kill him. It's like he had all 3 done to him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it's like it's a trilogy. Hung, drawn, and quartered. Yeah.
I thought it's like some were killed this way, some were killed this
way. No.
So it's like we're gonna drag you through the streets by horse. We're gonna cut off your limbs, and then we're gonna fucking hang you. Oh boy.
No. Hanging, Joe. The hanging's first because they stop right as you're about to die of suffocation. They cut you down.
And then they delimb you?
And then the quartered is disemboweled, beheaded, and chopped into 4 pieces. Just
holy fucking! That's how the fucking British Empire ruled the world. Holy shit! That's some brutal shit, man. That's some punk ass shit. Damn.
So
that is a fucking history lesson.
To celebrate that we stopped terrorists and still have the same government in power right now. We burn a vigil, so we have a bonfire, and what you do with your kids is you make like a straw man, like a scarecrow.
Oof, and that's supposed to be Guy Fawkes.
Big Guy Fawkes, and you put the scarecrow on the bonfire, and then you burn the bonfire all night. You have s'mores and candy apples and stuff, and then you love fireworks.
Oof, maximum. Yeah. Oof, damn, rough. Holy shit.
This when I was a kid, but my parents told me when they were kids they used to take their Guy Fawkes straw scarecrow person, and they would put in a wheelbarrow or like in a little cart, and they would go around house to house and knock on the door. I think you would be given candy, or you would be given something for like, hey, look what we've got.
Propaganda. And then, we caught the traitor. Oh, he was a good boy. And then they give you treats.
Oh, you made a nice scarecrow. Here's, that's
stuff
like that.
Holy shit. All right. They make it seem innocent, but that's straight up propaganda, teaching the youth. Oh, my God.
It's more about the fireworks than the actual bonfire. England's very small. Don't have big gardens. No one can really have a bonfire.
Yeah.
So usually, village would usually just have one big communal bonfire.
Right. And that's a good thing. I feel like that's better because it brings people together. Yeah.
Yeah. So usually like a pub or a restaurant that has like a decent sized parking lot, they would designate, like, we've got a nice big concrete parking lot. It's not going to set fire to anything. We'll use this as the bonfire. And then throughout like the weeks leading up to it, people will just throw wood on. They'll just donate some wood. Like,
yeah, nice. Get it nice and big.
Here's a wooden pallet. Here's some, old sticks and stuff. And then it gets bigger and bigger. And then on the 5th of November, like, that's me. But these days it's more about the fireworks because they're more like, ooh, fireworks.
It's just better technology. China.
Yeah. Yes.
Or as my shirt decries here. That's what I'm talking about. Wow. The lovely old lady. I'll send you a link if you haven't seen it, but it's like it's Djibouti Dubs Sticky Buddy. It's by far the best. I had to buy this t-shirt. It is the best thing. I don't know. I mean, at this point it's probably just nostalgia, but like it's so funny. Anyway. Yeah, so there we go. Hey, I really learned something new there. Holy shit, man. November 5th. So, what a day.
There's some that's what they used to do with bad people, I guess.
Right. Bad by the state's standards. Yeah. I guess it's good that we don't do that now. It's good that Canada doesn't do all the bad things Canada does now. But at the same time, I don't know. I think we got a long way to go as a nation, I mean, first off, we got to turn you into a sovereign citizen. So that's step one for the entire nation of Canada. They got some work to do there. And then your vote will help change the entire election next time. I think everything's going to completely flip.
My one vote.
All it takes is one.
It does.
You're in a swing
I guess
district.
reflecting back on the opening topic of the election,
Yeah.
you know, Trudeau has remained in power.
Yeah, he's gonna grow like his big evil beard like last time. Yeah, for
Yeah,
some reason he did that last time he won. Yeah.
yeah,
Like, oh,
and you
shit,
know,
man. The
he
dark
means
timeline
business.
now.
It's back. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least, I mean, at least he's liberal, and you know,
Well, at
he's
least he's
kind of
not anti-mask and anti-science, you know, because
yeah,
pretty sure O'Toole was like, if I win, I'll get rid of vaccine passports as a thing, and everyone's like, woo!
yeah, and I'll open everything up, and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was definitely pandering to a very specific
Oh
audience.
yeah. He was pandering to the PPC crowd
Yeah,
to
yeah,
get their votes. Yeah.
he stole the people's
Pulling
seats.
them back. Yeah.
But I mean, at least like I don't think anyone else would have done a better job of getting us to where we are through the pandemic, because it's so that like I don't envy those people at all, like to have to make the decisions they've made, and
Yeah.
like because like you know, Doug Ford's not perfect, but people shit on Doug Ford all the time for like any decision he makes, whether it's good or bad. It's like it's the wrong decision. But I'm like,
Yeah.
but put yourself in their shoes. Could you make a better decision when you look at the numbers? When you look at like, you know, everything in
like,
front of you, like, come on.
I feel like he's definitely a popular guy, but he wasn't that good of a decision maker. I think specific. Well, first I got to give him this. Like, I didn't vote for him when he won. I was like, he's just gonna do a dollar beer. Like that's literally his slogan and like campaign message. Dollar beers, everybody, woo! And it's like, all right, what the fuck? And so people voted for him the same way people voted for Trump. They did it because they didn't give a fuck, and they're like, let's go, buddy. They weren't doing it because they think it'd make the province better. But during the whole COVID thing, I was kind of half expecting him to also be like Trump, be like, I don't give a fuck, this is no big deal. But he actually took it seriously. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you like that bare minimum of like you actually are treating this as if it's real. So it's like, oh, that's surprising. But then after that, he kept like flip flopping between like, oh, we're gonna like he constantly was changing his mind, and it was like it continued the delay process.
We're open, we're closed.
Yeah, rubber close, rubber close, rubber close, rubber close. It's like holy shit! I can't even like I can't even walk back and forth faster than you can make these decisions. Like god damn it. So I don't even know when the next provincial election is at this point because I used to like track it by every time there was a national election, the provincial election would be 2 years after. But is the provincial election now going to happen next year?
Oh, because he
or
brought
is
it
it now
early.
been delayed? So now Ford just got an extra 2 years.
Yeah.
Now it just always has to be in the middle of the 4-year election. I don't know.
Yeah, true.
So very confusing. I don't know how politics work or what's what. All I know is this: everyone lies, so there's no point in watching the debates other than to get riled up and like be drunk and just be like, like just treat it like sports. That's the only reason to watch debates because I watched like 5 minutes of it and was like, I can't stand this. Everybody's just saying the most obvious talking points. Like, oh, climate change is real. Oh, this, that. I'm like, what? I don't give a like. Yeah, you're all saying the right thing. So should I vote for all of you? Like, literally everybody on the table was saying the exact same thing. So I'm like, by the metric of how this debate works, I should just like, yeah, so stupid. But aside from that, I feel like whenever it seems like someone has a specific policy that they put in place, then you can at least take them on their word for that. It's like the Green Party are environmentalists. I don't know how good they'd be at running the economy, but I give them credit for that.
Yeah.
And then with NDP, I feel like they're the healthy medium between like green and liberal. So it's like that's what they seem best at. That's why I'm just like, fuck yeah, I'm on board with Jug, you know? It's like I want more of it. But yeah, I want to drink the jug dry, you know? But it didn't happen this year. I don't know if it's going to happen in the future. I think there's only a real chance for NDP to be successful if the PPC becomes its natural enemy, the dark side on the Conservatives, and then Conservatives lose vote, Liberals lose votes to NDP, and then it creates this very interesting, exciting new experience where it's not just this two-party system. And then there is this like struggle of power. And then in that case, that would be epic, you know. It's like I'm all here for it.
The force always has to be balanced.
That exactly, you know, it's the history of the Jedi is one of failure. It's one of struggle. You know, it's like
So for every apprentice,
apprentice,
there is a master, and for every Sith, there is a Jedi, and for every liberal, there's a conservative.
Exactly. So do not hate those with different opinions as you. Simply understand that if everyone was more scientifically literate, well, we just live in a Star Trek world, and we don't want that, do we? We enjoy struggles on this planet, you know? It's better if we're just constantly stuck here and in the mud fighting each other, you know? It's more fun that way. Without conflict, it'd be boring, you know? I mean, then we'd have to go into space and find conflict there. So, you know, that's the way to look at it, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
But, hey, there we go. That was a hell of a podcast, I'd say. What do you say?
We'll end on a high.
Hell yeah. We'll end on fighting in the mud. I'll see you then.
Yeah.
Let's put a bonfire together and light some fake Guy Fawkes on fire, and then cut off his limbs and his head, and fucking cut his body in half. Yeah, just take it from there.
That's like making dead.
Exactly. But yeah, so hey, I mean, until next week, let's find out what other country we can talk about. You know, let's see what other elections are happening. Maybe we'll follow up on Russia and see where they are. Let's see who wins. Ooh, it's a mystery every time. Yeah, who's it gonna be? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I put 100 on Putin. Let's see if he wins. Just start throwing my cash. Yeah. But well, hey, it's been great doing the podcast with you, and I think I'll just say this as a teaser for next week. I'm gonna threaten the shit out of you next week. It's gonna be you, me, Derron. I'm gonna be like, listen, Aidan. What are we? We got to label this thing. Are you just a constant guest at this point?
It's like, what are you threatening me about?
Threatening you with responsibility.
I asked you, what universe do you want to live in? Answer.
What are we? Are we just having fun here? Are you ready to commit? Come on. But yeah. Anyway, we'll talk about that next time. So yeah. Until then, Papa bless. Peace out in the GTA, in the H-Town, in the Seaville, in the First Nations land that were stolen.
Coming live from the Hammer.
Hell yeah! Coming in live from the Hammer and coming in thick from the TO. Coming in from 6. I just don't know which one of 6. Yeah.
Coming in from 905. They actually said that on the news. They said that on the news the other night. I was like, what the who?
Oh, you know about that? Yeah. In Burlington, I was 905, but my number was 289. My cell phone number, but my home phone number was 905. So
I'm a 289, I think. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nice. I guess Oakville's the place for cell reception. I don't know why our cell phones are that, but yeah, it's the place to be. Either way, until next week, remember, audience, stay frosty, stay thick as hell, keep on voting. Responsibility as a sovereign citizen that isn't part of a dictatorship, so you actually have the right, so therefore you got to take advantage of it, and stay unplugged. Yeah. So
or stay plugged. You have this little thing. Okay.
Exactly. Have that stuff plugged in. But if you don't, then just go unplugged. That's the way to do it. I'm like the Lost Boys. It's like I have imaginary food. It's like this isn't plugged into anything. It's not real. I'm just pretending it is. But yeah. So yeah. See you guys later.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.